I noticed how many different kinds of leaves there are just in one little corner of my garden. Let me show you a few of them today. So the first leaf I noticed is this one. This is one of my very, very favorites. This is a very big leaf. Look at how small my hand looks on this leaf. It's really quite large. This leaf grows out of this plant. Remember, in plants, we have different parts of the plant under the ground. Where we can't see them is the root system. And then all of this, the stem, the petioles, the leaves, the fruits and seeds and flowers, that's called the shoot system. Well, leaves are very important parts of the shoot system. That's where the plant makes all of its food. This green color means that there's a chemical called chlorophyll in the leaves that helps the plant manufacture its own food just from the sunlight and the air and the minerals in the ground and the water it takes in. Now right here, through the middle of this leaf, is what we call the midrib. Your ribs are right around the middle of your body, and they protect your heart and your lungs. Well, this midrib helps to provide the leaf with a way to bring water up from the roots and send nutrients back down to the rest of the plant. And coming off of this midrib are different veins in the plant, very similar to the veins in your body that carry nutrients and waste through your body. So this is a leaf that's got, look at the edges of this leaf. They're very, what we would call scalloped, kind of lacy to go in and out and in and out. A very frilly sort of leaf, very rounded and separated, but it's all one leaf, one of my very favorites. Now here's a very different kind of leaf. This leaf on this plant, these leaves are very long and pointy. Look at that. Now their veins are called what we call parallel veins. They don't have veins that you can see coming off, but if you look very closely, you can see that there's little tiny lines underneath, easier to see underneath, that are the veins that are doing the same thing as the veins that are coming off the midrib here. There are veins through all these leaves that help transport nutrients and water and waste back and forth through the plant. Now right up here, and this is our rosemary, look at these tiny leaves. Here's my finger. Look at how small it is. These are shaped very similarly to this plant down here, but they're much smaller. And the plant has a lot of them all over the place. There's a plane going by, you can hear. But they also have very tiny little veins in there. Sometimes it's easier to see from the underside. You can kind of, yeah, this camera's not picking up the leaves very well underneath. Right over here, these are the laciest we've got. Now this is actually one leaf. This part right through here is the midrib. Mid because it's in the middle, and rib, it's the main structure that's holding the leaf together. These are actually considered leaflets. This is what we call a compound leaf because it's lots of little pieces on one midrib. So this one is definitely the frilliest. So if we think of this as one leaf, which technically it is, look at all the ins and outs and arounds and abouts. This is the laciest and the most broken up of all the leaves. Well, over here we've got some big ones on our palm. One of this is probably a good one to show you. So you can see this is doing some of that too here. It's up high. Here's our midrib. And each of these is a leaflet coming off. And you can see that the leaf goes all the way. This is the petiole that joins it to the stem of the palm tree. We sometimes think of that as a trunk, which is just a stem. And yeah, then we come over here, right below. Here's a little plant called a spider plant. I guess it reminded someone of the legs of a spider and the way it crumbs out like this. This also has parallel veins. It's hard to see this vein, the midrib here. I can feel it with my fingers underneath, and I'll show you in a moment. But this white area here in the middle of the leaf, that's the midrib. If I flip it over, you can kind of see how that's raised there. And this one also, very long, very pointy. Look at the difference between this leaf here and this leaf here, but they're both leaves, and they both have very important, very similar functions for their plants, for the plants that they're supporting. Now over here, I've got very little tiny leaves, not as tiny as my rosemary, but still pretty small. These are quite delicate, and this plant has lots of different leaves. They kind of make a circle. They kind of make a crown around the middle of the stem. Over here is a kind of leaf I really like. This is a maple. Now, right here, look at this one. Do you see how it's so shiny? It's very tender. It's very soft and delicate. This is a baby leaf. It just uncurled. At the ends, it's at the end of a branch here. This leaf below it is much older. It's a mature leaf. If you look here, older leaf. This one's even had someone took a little snack, some bugs in the garden, had a little bite. Here's a young leaf. Here's one that's just unfurled. And here, if you look very carefully, where is it? Right here. We're going to get a new leaf there very soon. At the end, see, there's the new baby, and further back are the more grown-up leaves. So the babies grow at the end, and the older leaves are behind them. This is a leaf. Look at this leaf. This leaf is really, really thick. It's from a plant that's called a succulent. It's a kind of plant that can store water for an awfully long time. And then here's a grass leaf growing through, right through with the midrib right in the middle. That one's actually a weed that's growing up among our succulent, but that happens after the rains. So there's that leaf right there. So think about all the leaves in your garden. Think about all the leaves you see. There are so many different kinds of leaves. Oh, here's one. Look at this. When I look at this leaf, I can tell that this is a dead leaf. How can I tell? It's brown. I can also tell that it's crinkly. It breaks up very easily. It's dry. But the fact that it's brown means that the chlorophyll is no longer in this leaf. This is not a living leaf. All of these green leaves that are still attached to plants, they're living. They're breathing. They're taking in nutrients of the way a plant eats, making their own nutrients, which is something that plants can do that we can't. They grow. They can make new leaves. They can die if they don't get the things that they need. But all of these green leaves are living things. When you see a brown leaf, that's a leaf that is dying or has died. Most leaves are green. Some leaves, like we saw over here, do have the white stripes. But look around. Look at all the variety of leaves that you can see. Probably right out your window when you're taking a walk with Mom or Dad, when you are driving in the car. Some leaves go way up high, like our palm tree and the pine tree. Some leaves are very small and way down low, like the ground cover right here, or this little rosemary plant. So take a look and have fun with leaves. Enjoy and see what you see.